All right, so this is a suggestion via Discord. The name of the video is a young boy bought an old painting for $2, but the painting's true worth will shock you. Check it out.
Even though he was a young boy, he still knew what he was talking about. He watched the old man's eyes fill with greed as he showed him a unique piece. Lucky for him, his father was with him otherwise. Is
this one of those stories?
Might have been taken advantage of. They were there because of him, after all, though he wasn't in it for the money. He loved the art above all else. Martin, the curious 11-year-old boy, had a penchant for the past. His parents shared his love for antiques and often took him on their weekend antique shopping. They were considered middle class and got by with their money every month, but they did not have the extra money needed for gifts for their son. They were going through a rough patch regarding their finances, but were working hard to get out of it. Never could they have known their struggles were almost over. His parents gave Martin $2 to spend as he chose, expecting him to buy one of the vintage toys or a collection of coins. On that particular Saturday, as they browsed the aisles of an antique shop nestled in the heart of their small town, Martin's eyes sparkled with interest. The family was interested in picking up some trinkets for their house. However, Martin set his sights on something unexpected, an old oil painting that had been tucked into a corner of the antique shop. They didn't realize that painting would change their lives forever. Martin's eyes were wide, absolutely glued to the oil painting that hung far in the corner. He didn't stop staring or gaping and even called his parents over to come see. His parents exchanged confused glances, not knowing what he sought with a painting when he had toys to choose from. Lisa even tried to show him classic novels, but he stood fast in his love for the painting.
I mean, listen, sometimes art just grabs you like that, right? I like the idea of it. A young kid, he chooses something, deeply meaningful over something that is, somewhat disposable, like a toy. I mean, it may bring him like some temporary joy, but the art obviously spoke to him, so it's fine.
Lisa and Henry expected Martin to gravitate towards the toy section, but to their surprise, he walked straight to the painting and began examining it closely. No matter how hard they tried to convince him, he still wanted the painting. His mother pointed out some modern art pieces, but he turned away. "Martin, darling, are you sure you want that old painting?" Lisa asked, her brows furrowing in confusion. Martin nodded eagerly, his gaze unwavering. "Yes, Mom, Dad, I want this painting." His father went to speak to the store clerk. "All right, if that's what you want," Martin, Lisa said with a shrug, though she couldn't hide the skepticism in her voice. Back at home, Martin insisted on hanging the painting above his bed, where he could see it every night before he went to sleep. His parents watched with amusement as their son seemed to develop a newfound fascination with the artwork, spending hours studying its every detail. But as the days passed, strange things began to happen. Martin started having vivid dreams of the countryside depicted in the painting, as though he were actually there, wandering through the fields and exploring the old farmhouse. Did it have something to do with the old painting? As Martin examined the painting, he noticed that it looked much older than he initially thought. He decided to do some homework. His eyes widened as he read research.
Wait, hold on. How old is this kid?
On how some paintings were valuable. Intrigued by the painting's antiquity, Martin suggested they take it to an art appraiser to learn more about its origins and potential value. He turned to his parents and asked if they could take him to an art appraiser to learn more about it. It was a full-time job trying to find someone who was an independent art appraiser. They phoned a few art dealers, but nobody wanted to assist them. They didn't know how to go about it. After some searching, they found themselves standing outside Mr. Banks' art appraisal studio. Martin clutched the painting tightly, his heart pounding with anticipation. The moment of truth was finally here. Mr. Banks, a stout man with spectacles perched on his nose, greeted them warmly as they entered. He looked them up and down, sussing them out. He was a stern-looking man with a sharp eye for detail. He looked angry while he worked, his bushy eyebrows flicking up and down. Martin thought he saw them covering his eyes at one point. As Martin brought the painting out of its protective wrapping, Mr. Banks' eyebrows shot up in surprise. Well, what do we have here, Mr.? Banks mused, running his fingers over the aged canvas. "This is quite the find. Where did you find this?" The old man continued to examine the painting, mumbling to himself. He asked after what seemed like an eternity. Mr. Banks finally looked up and met Martin's gaze. "This painting," he began slowly, "is not just any old painting. It is a work by the famous Dutch painter." He questioned Martin almost as if to show off. Martin didn't know any of the answers. He didn't have—
Guys, we're paying attention to the story, obviously, but this is a true story, apparently. I just found it online. What? Was it on the Antique Roadshow? Guys, let's finish this up.
A PhD in ancient art. He was just a boy. He was getting flustered by all the questions the appraiser was asking him. It was a personal attack. Mr. Banks spoke to Martin, his voice tinged with disbelief. "You know, young man, this painting is far more valuable than you realize. It's an original work by the famous Dutch painter Van Hees. dating back to the late 1800s. Lisa gasped, her hand flying to her mouth in shock, while Henry's eyes widened in disbelief. Martin's eyes widened in disbelief. He had heard of Van Hughes, but he never imagined he would come into contact with one of his works. He joked with his mother that he won the bet, and she laughed, saying, "Yeah, I owe you $5. The two laughed at their private joke while Mr. Banks looked at them as though they were crazy. Mr. Banks cleared his throat and continued to speak. Van Hughes is a highly respected painter from the late 1800s. His works are incredibly valuable. I would estimate this painting to be worth between $1,000 and $2,000, Mr. Banks declared. Lisa and Henry were speechless, their minds reeling with the implications of their son's discovery. They had never imagined that a seemingly insignificant purchase at an antique store could hold such immense value. Banks wanted to keep the painting at his studio, but the family declined in unison. Over the next few weeks, the Stevens family faced their financial struggles head-on. They were able to sell the piece to a private art gallery for more than what Mr. Banks suggested. Seeing Martin's sad face, they gave him $5,000 for his keen eye. They were able to pay their bills and make ends meet. But Martin couldn't help but feel a pang of regret whenever he thought about the painting. He felt like he was just a pawn in his parents' game to survive. But he didn't know that his days with his favorite painting weren't over yet. One day, Martin received a letter in the mail. It was from Mr. Banks. Inside was a photograph of the painting, beautifully framed and displayed in an art gallery in his expensive home. Accompanying the photograph was a note from Mr. Banks explaining that he had purchased the painting from the art gallery after the Stevens family had sold it. I knew that this painting was special, Mr. Banks wrote, and I wanted to ensure that it found a deserving home. I hope this photograph brings back fond memories of your time with the painting finally.
Okay, guys, here's the thing. The way that the story was just delivered was interesting, right? But the names were changed based off of this here. Let me see. Boy finds $2 painting. Let's try that on we can go ahead and bring it up for you guys. Little boy overjoyed. Let's go ahead and maximize that screen. Bring it back. Here we go. Right. So here's the thing. Unfortunately, it was found in New Jersey. Let's just start right there. Being a New Yorker, you know, it's a little unfortunate that it was found in such a place, right? But either way, let's see here. Obviously, the names were changed. Apparently, David. What's going on here? David something. Continue reading. Here we go. This is the boy that actually found the painting. This is the painting. It definitely wasn't about any type of like nature scene. It looks to be like like someone sitting in like a bear or something sitting in a chair. And also the painting. Hold on. Yeah, 1844 to 1814. So the name of the artist was correct. I've never heard of this artist, guys. I have a master's in fine art, but obviously I don't know every single artist in history of art, guys, right? And it did appraise for like $1,500. But for some reason, now it doesn't want to show me how much it appraised for. But basically it was from $1,500 to about $2,000. So the story is right here. No, $1,000 to $1,500. Apologies, guys. All right, guys. This is a nice story. It feels good when you find something that you didn't expect had value. You just liked it. Turns out that it's extremely valuable. But all right, listen. You guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.